All right, cool, Catherine. Good to get a minute here to find some time to chat. I know we struggled to find some openings on our calendar here.
Yes, lots going on right now, especially leading up to
Yes,
our commercial vehicle business summit, right, Kevin?
exactly. So yeah, that's what we're here for today to talk about a little bit. We got the commercial vehicle business summit coming up, and so I thought we'd take a step back and just chat a little bit about how you came up with this, and what made you start the commercial vehicle business summit.
So, as we know, in 2020, there was this need, this push to have a lot of virtual events because people weren't able to see each other personally, and so number one, that opened the door to the idea: could we put on a virtual event that would be helpful to the industry? But the more we thought about it, because we'd done workshops that were more tailored towards functional things. The more I thought about it, the more I looked around and saw that there were a lot of virtual events talking about changes and innovation, around mobility and around, autonomous vehicles and, electric vehicles and all of these different things. And I thought, where is it that anybody's talking about the commercial space? Because each one of those touched a tiny bit on commercial, but not focused. And we love the commercial space. We know it's unique. We know that its needs and its drivers are different. And then I started thinking, well, the whole business is different. No one ever talks about this business. We talk about the vehicles. There's a great work truck week that has all the vehicles, but what's actually the business, and what does the ecosystem look like that powers 80% of our GDP, right? And so that was the idea. We really built a lot around it. We spent a lot of time. We went out and hired a professional event coordinator. We got a really high end platform. We promoted it with NADA and a number of other events in advance, and we pulled in really unique viewpoints. Good speakers are really smart people, but we made sure that they had different perspectives, and that was the goal, kind of to look at the industry. And it was so popular. I mean, we really had a really high sign up and a lot of attendance and a lot of time on the event. And it was funny because that first one was so successful, but there was clearly a theme that was um, everybody was curious about EVs, right? And how that would affect the commercial space. There were a lot of questions that we said, okay, well, that was our spring one. Maybe we need to do a fall one because things are changing so quickly in the space. We want to address people's questions before a year goes by. And so we did a second one, a fall one that
Yeah,
year.
it's how thinking about how it's evolved from that first one to what we're leading up to this fall here. Yeah, what have you seen that's changed from CVBS, like from the very first time with the you had this idea and got the team to help run it to today to where we are.
I think that the good news is that the format that we chose and the time that we put into making it consumable, and by that what I mean is it's 2 days, but it's short 2 days, right? So people can, on the West Coast or the East Coast can have time to do their regular stuff. We also have refined how we cadence it, so there's little spaces between if you need to run and do things, etc. And then we record it, right, to make it absorbable. If you can't listen to the whole thing afterwards, you're immediately notified, and you can then watch the session that you didn't want to. So that all worked out great. That's been repeatable and successful. What we kind of developed too is this spring is more about general, like this. So, like I said, and fall is more around a specific topic that's hot at the time. So in 21, it was the general, what is this commercial business space like, and how are people thinking about it, and where is it going? And then in the fall, we talked about new, we talked about primarily EV, but a little bit more around other drivetrains, like we talked a little bit about alternative fuels and charging and things like that, right? So, but in the spring this year, we talked about transformation because it was a big subject, and there were so many things that were needing to change because of the pressure on inventory and the supply chain and etc. What came out of that was this question that we're addressing in this October 26 and 27 is around what really is this concept of mobility when you apply it to the commercial space. There's so much around mobility as it applies to consumer transportation, but what does it really mean? And so it was a challenging target, but we've found some amazing speakers who are focused on this.
Yeah, one of the things that must be a challenge, but also is really interesting, is there's the industry so broad that when you have speakers, you can pull from a lot of different areas. I know
Right.
I was a panel led a panel on the last CVBS, and we talked about technology, and it was interesting to have somebody on the panel that was representing a body manufacturer and somebody else that was representing a wholesaler that's taking used vehicles and remarketing them. So how do you go about finding the presenters and speakers and people on a panel?
So we're fortunate that we have some I would call them leaders that have adopted what we're trying to do here. Both days, Jim Press, who, for those who don't know, spent decades as the COO of Toyota. Was CEO for a period of time during the ditch for Chrysler. He's, a world, advisor for OEMs, and we're so fortunate. He is a Work Truck Solutions senior advisor. He conducts what we call a fireside chat both days, and we have a little bit of consistency there. We have on the first day we have kind of a tangible group, more around upfitters and OEMs and stuff like that. And the second day we have kind of more creativity around who it might be that we pull in, and then we build, once we've got the theme and we start thinking about what the panel should focus on. We do have a very large group of what I would call ecosystem leaders that we can pull from, and this particular one upcoming has some really great ones. Quinn Garcia, who's one of the founders of Autotech Ventures, who's one of the world-renowned speakers on mobility, and they are investors in a lot of commercial companies. And so he can pull what he's done in the mobility space around more of the consumer and is applying it to commercial, which is going to be very exciting. He's our day 2 keynote. We also have Lauren Fletcher, who is with Bobbitt. She's the one that does the truck chat, and leads a lot of things in the fleet world conversations. We've got a number of other really great speakers. Ben Winters from TransferFlow. TransferFlow is one of the world leaders in expanded fuel capacity. And so they have really interesting views on, fuel, transport, electric vehicles, alternative fuels. So it's going to be a very lively event.
Yeah, no, it's a great list of speakers. And I know for me, I always try to make sure I do see that fireside chat with Jim Press. So one of the ones I'm looking forward to.
Oh, well, I should do a little pitch for me too, because I actually open the show with a really great guy. Andrew is with Ryan and Associates, which they track all of the what's happening in the kind of supply side of the business. So they're very good at laying out what's expected to happen. And we're going to do a great little, I'm asking questions and he's responding. So.
Well, very exciting, Catherine. So let's wrap up. We've got the dates, October 26th and 27th. Anything you want to conclude with? No,
I just looking forward to seeing you there and anyone else that loves to join us. Thanks, Kevin.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Catherine.